Two of the biggest reasons carnivore is hard to stick to or people fall off. And in my eyes, that's dealing with cravings and accepting when we make mistakes. When I first started carnivore, there were periods where I really had some very strong cravings. In the beginning, it's only natural for you to have them because it's a physiological response going from glucose, sugar and carb burning, to fat burning. The body's craving quick energy. These times are completely normal. Cravings can be a hard thing to overcome, specifically when you're someone like me that's tied their emotions to eating sweet or carbohydrate-based foods to make us feel better. And the other thing is the mistakes. Nobody's perfect, but in my mind, I always used to think, oh, I got to do this 100% or I'm just a failure. So every time I'd have something like an off meal or I ate something that wasn't on that diet plan, I would feel like I was a failure. And then the next thought is, well, since I'm a failure, I might as well go eat McDonald's, or forget this, I might as well just go eat Twinkies, whatever it was. And I quit because I thought myself a failure, and then I ate something off and I proved I was a failure, i.e. I was a failure. And it was just this circular issue that happened is every time I would eat something off, whatever the plan was, I failed and then I quit. So let's talk about cravings, how to deal with them, mistakes, and how we deal with them. Because here's the thing, we are all human. And that's good to know, because if we're human, that means we're imperfect. That means we are going to fail at some point. And I heard a quote which I thought was very helpful. No one that ever succeeded in anything didn't fail. We learn by mistakes. We learn through failure. If we don't fail, we never get better. The first thing that I now do is I get a piece of paper out, or I grab my husband and I write or talk about what is going on. If I'm having a craving, that means something mentally and emotionally is going on. I write down what is bothering me. I'm stressed because whatever it is. I'm depressed because whatever it is. Write it out. Then I write a reasonable or speak a reasonable response. I'm stressed because Ryu is still having a lot of neck pain. I'm doing everything I can to help her, but I don't see any improvement. Well, then I need to write a reasonable response. What's the reasonable response? Is there anything else that I can do to help her? Well, you ponder on that, and we came up with, yes, there is. She gets carried up and down our stairs because we live in a 3-story house. It has helped immensely. I haven't heard her yip an entire week because of the pinched nerve in her neck. She is doing much better. I would have not come up with that on my own had I not sat down and actually thought through it. What can I do to improve the situation? Once that's done, it's an instant breath of fresh air. The stress dissolves because I have an actual task I can do. Sometimes there isn't anything we can do, but admitting I can't change anything is also a stress reliever. Why? Because what's the point of the stress? If that doesn't solve your entire issue, I have a couple other things that I use. I like using Redmond's Salt Rock. I made this little bag just so you know, because I love Snoopy. I use their salt crystal. Literally, I lick it a few times because it's got nice minerals in it. Drink with a little water, and this most of the time deals with my craving needs. It's so simple, and I actually keep it in my little cotton bag because I can take it with me in my purse if I go somewhere. The second thing I like using is my LMNT. This works really nicely for my bridge drink. Why? Because it's got sodium, magnesium, and potassium that help fill me up so I'm not craving things. Some of the other benefits that go along with using LMNT is it helps with cramps, fatigue, headaches, and those kinds of things with low electrolytes. It's also got no additives in it, gluten, sugars, artificial things that really make it easier to drink versus having all the other crap in there. Right now, LMNT's offering an 8-pack sample pack free with any purchase. You just need to go to drinklmnt.com/carnivorous meat. That's drinklmnt.com/carnivorous meat. Use these to help get past it. And here's the thing, don't beat yourself up if you have cravings. Everybody goes through phases with that, especially women when our cycles come. Things happen. Do not beat yourself up for it. You are not the only one, even if you're a year into carnivore and you still experience them. Next, I want to talk about accepting mistakes. I know it can be hard seeing influencers and people on YouTube that are like, I've been 1,000 days or 300 or 500 days and I haven't had one cheat meal. I, Amanda, am not one of them, and I have been very vocal about this. I have had plenty of off-carnivore meals throughout my 11-month journey. And here's the thing. I used to be one of these people that if I ate an off whatever diet meal, I quit, boom, here I am, gained 20 plus pounds back because I was a failure. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, that is exactly what happened. I saw myself as a failure from the get-go. Then I did the diet, and then I proved to myself I was a failure because, here Amanda failed, ate bad. Proof that I'm an absolute, utter failure. But that's not the case. My definition of failure has dramatically changed. Failure is only when we stop getting back up. I don't care if you've fallen 5,556 times. As long as you get back up that 557th time, you get back up. That's it. That means you're not a failure. Failures quit completely. So that's easy to say, but what are some actionable things that can actually be done? The first is the hardest, and it's confess your sins. It does not mean you need to get on the internet and do it, but tell a close friend, family member, someone that is a supporter of you, or at least journal it. Get it out there versus hiding it inside, because when we hide things inside, that's what builds the shame and the guilt versus just blah, I got it out there. I ate last night 4 cheddar beef kielbasa. There's my confession. I'm supposed to have not been eating them this week, but I did. Yes, they are still technically carnivore, but I've been trying to avoid nitrates. So there's my confession. I ate 4 beef and cheddar kielbasa with mustard. People might judge and have their opinions and have not nice things to say, but guess what? They too are imperfect. I have yet to meet a single perfect person in this world, and it shows utter strength, internal strength, to admit when you've fallen and confess that. Plus, let me tell you, it just kind of takes a weight off the shoulders. As I said, you're not hiding it. It's a mistake. You don't have to broadcast it to the whole world like I just did. Just confess. And through speaking it into the world, what happens is you can think through why it happened better. I ate 4 beef and cheddar kielbasa because I let myself get too hungry, and because I had gotten tired of beef, and because I'm stressed. And the last thing, it's really assessing, okay, why are you stressed? What's going on? And delving into that, for me specifically, it's because I haven't been walking much because of my foot, plus a few other things. I've got this autoimmune thing going on due to stress, and the more stress you get, the more stress worse it is. It's just, and I've been trying to do too much at one time. Boom, there it is. That's what caused it. What am I going to do about it? I'm going to decrease my amount of stress by doing a little bit less. Get it out. Speak it to the world. Remove any shame that you might have around it. Another big part of why I think speaking it or journaling it is key is because we cannot hide it from ourselves. Think about how many times you've convinced yourself something was okay when that deep inner voice is like, it's not okay. Speaking it out loud means we cannot ignore it, and we have to face it. And I find that is the number one thing that caused, honestly, my biggest weight gain, is because I wasn't facing my emotions and I was using food to deal with them. By speaking it out loud, we have to confront the emotions behind it. I still, even though I'm not using carbs and sugars now, I still, with high levels of stress, want to eat. Even though it's meat, I still need to work on that. And it will probably be a, honestly, lifetime journey, because I've spent 33 years of my 33 years on this planet using food to soothe my emotions. It doesn't just disappear when you're a binge eater. Being aware of that, facing the emotion, it is very hard, but it is so doable. The last step is to change the behavior or turn away. Some people might call it repent. And what that entails is, 1, assessing, confessing, getting it out in the world, bringing it to light. This is like a weird thought, but think about like wet clothes. If you put it in the damp darkness, mold grows, but if you put it out in the sunlight actually cleanses it and kills all the mold. Bringing things out of the darkness into the light forces us to deal with them, right? So once we do that, we also then have to make actionable plans. Not that they always work, because it's a work in progress. If you think, doing X will prevent Y, but then it turns out X didn't prevent Y, that's okay. Move on to A preventing Y or B preventing Y, or it's rinse and repeat till you find what actually works. And this is why letting go and forgiving yourself for the failures, because we don't get things right the first time, ever. We're human. We think by not sharing our failures that we're hiding them, and we're hiding them from those around us. That if they see that we failed in whatever it is in life, that they're going to deem us less worthy. And the thing is there are probably people who do that. But then there are other people that are like, you know what, I failed, and you're admitting your failure. Oh, maybe we're a lot alike. I can connect with you, and thank you for sharing that failure with me, because now I don't feel so alone that I failed. So you can actually lift people up by sharing your failures, not encouraging failure, but sharing the stumbles and things you make by saying, you know what, I did this, and these are the actions I'm going to take to change this. You might just help someone else completely prevent that stumble, or also use whatever you did to fix it. If you're still having cravings, don't feel bad about it. If you're a binge eater, remember, I wrapped my emotions around food. It is not just a boom, untangle, and done. It's going to be a lifelong thing, and I'm okay with that. Being aware of it's key. 2, forgiving yourself for when you stumble, fall, or what you see as a failure. Remember what I said. Failing is only if you quit and don't get back up that 158th time. Keep getting back up, okay? Everybody falls and stumbles. I believe in you. Why? Because you're human, and we have the most amazing spirit to get over and through things, no matter how much the struggle is. It'll stretch and make you grow, but by the end of it and through that journey, you will find you are such a different person in such a good way. Just a quick few things. I completely revamped the website. I would love your guys' opinion on it, the color schemes and things like that. So if you want to go check that out, it's just carnivoremeat.com. Don't forget, every month we have a meet up. This June, it's going to be on the 17th. We'll be walking and grilling again, plus pickleball and swimming. You're more than welcome to just come to both portions, one portion. And also in July, I believe the 29th, we're doing a special event, which is rail cycling. You can find this all on the website too if you are interested. I hope to see you there. Bye. The last step is I just had a brain fart. It was so good too. And I already went ahead and played. Cannot get words out clearly today. All right, restart. Opinions about the thing. We are fallibly fallible.
Repeatedly fallible?
We are 2. What were we just talking about?